It's a huge, huge honor for me today to be podcast interviewing a townie named Jaclyn Nona. She's the CEO and co-founder of Cleaver Dental Company, a platform helping dental teams master internal marketing. She created 25 plus marketing training courses and resources for dental offices nationwide. She's a member of the AADOM, DEW, and the American Marketing Association. When she's not in the office, you'll find her spending time with her wild and active family and their golden retriever, Murphy. And what I love about her is she's doing this in Indiana. And what city are you in Indiana? Michigan or
We're in
city?
Michigan City, Indiana, so it's northwest Indiana, right on the coast, right on Lake Michigan, just outside of Chicago. So we are
Okay.
freezing cold. I wish I was in Arizona with you, actually.
And that's what I love about it. I mean, if this works on Hoosiers, come on, a
Yeah,
Hoosier.
tough
And
crowd.
and yeah, and I mean, because if it works in Beverly Hills, who gives a crap? I mean, I'm from Wichita, Kansas. It ain't Beverly Hills. We don't do $50,000 makeovers on movie stars. And you're in Hoosierville, and you used to do it in California at a dental practice by a military base, which was not Beverly Hills at all, right?
Right, so when I started, I had no knowledge of the dental industry. My husband was a Marine, and basically my choice was working at front desk at a dental office or a McDonald's. Literally, that's all they had for options in this military town. Worked there for a couple years. We moved home, which was Indiana. Started at the practice I'm still at today. That was 10 years ago. Did everything. Started front desk, did billing, insurance, treatment coordinator, all that. Developed more and more into marketing. And this whole program, Clever Dental Co., was created out of resources that we wished that we had for internal marketing that didn't exist. And then we made our own and we folded it into our own business. And now we're trying to teach other offices and we're still doing it day to day. Every day I'm in the office.
And I just want my homies to understand what this means. And what it means is if your overhead's a dollar and you do a dollar's worth of dentistry, it doesn't matter if it's each day, each month, each year, your overhead's 100%. But if your team and all your overhead is still a dollar and you could do $2 of dentistry, your overhead's now 50%. And where I see dentists going the wrong way is they try to sit there and say, the free market sets the price. You can't argue with the US government and say, well, I need to lower my overhead, so I'm going to need you to lower my tax rate, my state rate, my Social Security tax. And they're going to get on the phone and say, okay, Jaclyn, we hear you. We understand your overhead's high. We're going to lower all these. No, you can't call the electric company. And if everybody in your neighborhood pays $2 an hour for a hygienist or a dental assistant or whatever, you can't say, well, I need to pay you $1.75 or $1.50 because my overhead's. No, you can't lower if you don't have any control over it. You don't worry about it. I mean, the Stoics have been saying this in meditations since Julius Caesar's and Marco Aurelius times. If you have no control over it, quit whining about it. What can you control? Well, if your overhead's a dollar a month and you do $1 to the dentistry, if you listen to Jaclyn, maybe she can figure out how to get you a few more patients, and then if you can get your dentistry to $2, your overhead's down to 50%. So you need more need to pay. Now I'm old school, so you gotta start with the older crowd first because we believe in word of mouth referral. We believe, we our generation's built $1 million practices before the yellow pages, before the
Sure.
internet. Did you know that when I got out of school, there was no such thing as TikTok? Did you know that? Did you know that?
Well,
Did you?
you're
So,
not
so,
blowing my mind, but I am going to tell you something that's going to be music to the ears of every dentist out there. Internal marketing is the cheapest way, the most inexpensive way to bring new patients in the door. And it's a lot of social media. It's not just social media, but all of these platforms are free. Organic marketing is free. If you just show up there, if you just teach your team how to do this from inside the office, and by do this, I mean ask for referrals, take some behind the scenes photos, show up on Instagram, show up on Facebook, meet your patients where they are, which is online. That's where your demographic is. It's free. Be consistent, show up. It's the cheapest way to get new patients in the door. If you want to save money on overhead, Just show up. That's what I'm going to teach you to do. And our program, I priced it low so you can do this at a very low cost.
Okay, but just get it out of the way first. Are we gonna have to sing on TikTok? Is
No,
that
no.
is that our future now? We have to sing, or do we have to dance?
If you want to, I'm sure people would
No,
love to see it.
no. I definitely don't want to sing or dance on potato. But first of all, what is your website?
It's cleverdentalco.com. Easy.
Okay, okay. And you're on my show. You didn't pay for this. Did you pay me for this?
No, I did not.
You were supposed to send me a check with a shitload of money to get on this
Well,
show. Yeah,
it's coming
yeah,
in later.
it's coming. Yeah, yeah. I
That's
have
what they all
enough.
say.
I have enough money. I don't need to do that. But so what's the name of your what's the www?
www.cleverdentalco.com. Anywhere that you would want to find us, that's our only name, Clever Dental Co. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, anywhere you would want to look, that's what we are. Our whole process is not, so I'm not going to do the marketing for you. That's what makes us different. I hate companies, hate's a strong word, but you are the HBO of dental podcasts. That's what you told me. So I'm going to speak my mind a little bit.
Yep. There's no edit, no filters. You're in the dog pound. You're in the dog
I'm in a
pound.
safe space, right?
Yeah, yeah. You say whatever you want.
I think it's unrealistic for me to hire an agency 2,000 miles away and say, I want you to post on my Facebook for me. Well, they don't know anything about me. They don't know anything about my employees. They don't know anything about my doctor. They're not here taking pictures of my staff. They're not here capturing day-to-day moments. They weren't at my Christmas party or my staff lunch. They have nothing authentic. And they're going to charge me 2 grand a month to post for really not good stock photos. And I'm paying a ton of money to them a month for crap work. So why? What you're going to do is you're going to sign up for my platform. Your front desk, probably they're the easiest person to take these courses. They have the time. Doctor doesn't have the time. And they're going to learn how to do this internal marketing from the front desk for cheap, and you're going to get new patients in the door. And more than that, you're going to keep your existing patients loyal. You're not going to see your existing patients going out the door to another practice.
And I'm on your website right now. Um, start growing your practice. Start growing your practice day with our risk-free 30-day free trial. So how, okay, so we talk about the core problem. Dentists know they need to show up online in their communities, but the gap is structure, who does the work, what what they do consistently, how to stay compliant without it becoming overwhelming. One thing I want to know is we hear things like if your video is over a minute, the platforms aren't going to push out like Instagram and TikTok aren't going to
Sure.
push out your video if it's 3 minutes long or 4 minutes long. So what is the time length? Is it really 1 minute or less?
Honestly, the average person will lose attention in about 7 seconds.
Holy moly.
Yep. So if you don't have a strong hook, if you can't keep attention within 7 seconds, it's gone. So who is Jerry to you that I was talking to before the podcast?
He's my graphic artist. He's the one who designs all the covers and images for Dental Town and Ortho Town. And is
He's
this an image?
fantastic.
Yeah, and you notice he's a hippie. He's long hair. He's got, he's good looking. He's all artsy. No, I mean because to me, one of the biggest things in hiring people, because I've hired so many great people over the years. And you know what my HR secret is?
What is that?
Is your job your identity? When they come in on an interview and the first thing out of their mouth is money, like, well, how much do you pay an hour? I mean, because they're thinking, well, I'm a dental assistant, I make 18, I'm looking for 20, or do you have health insurance? Then when they start talking money, it's an 8 to 5 job. When they come
Hmm.
in and they want to see what you do and they want to see who they want to do it with, and you can just tell, like I knew this guy. I mean, when he came in, he's got long hair. I mean, he's a graphic artist. I mean, you can tell he's a graphic artist
He
from a
is an
mile away.
artist. Yeah.
Yeah, and the same thing with programmers. I mean, some of these programmers, especially the ones that were in their 40s and 50s, are like, well, I'm currently making this much money and these are my benefits. I mean, how much money are you guys can, and it's like, you're already talking about money.
It's a
And then the
job.
20,
Yeah.
and then the ones that come in their 20s, they just got out of school. And then their identities, they want to be a crackpot programmer. Same thing with dental associates. I mean, the reason I love get the HED and got my FAGD and my MGD because if you hang out with five dentists from school and they all hate dentistry and all they want to do is talk doomsday shit about, how the ADA don't ever do nothing and Delta Dentals, they just suck. They won't give me a raise. And the DSOs, I mean, they're just horrible and rotten. And all they want to do is the sky is falling. Well, you're going to get all caught up in that. And you're going to go down the toilet with them. But I go to the ADA meetings and they're all like, you could be at a root canal convention. And the guy next to you is like, oh my God, last week I went to an implant deal and I went and saw this guy and Carl Miz and I went all and I just like, wow, when I'm at an ADA meeting, every dentist there just fuels me up. And now I feel sorry for these young dentists because you get on social media and it's just all, it's all doomsday. And it's like,
It is. It really is.
it's all doomsday. It's like, well, of course you think the sky is falling and the sky is falling because I think social media is the big reason right now where the whole world's in the place that it is because everybody's just saying the sky is falling. So now from China and Taiwan to Russia to Ukraine, the United States, to Venezuela, Greenland, everybody's just like the whole sky is falling, and everybody just needs to take a big chill pill and realize don't worry about things you can't control and go back to your dental office and just hang out with people who love dentistry. And
Well,
I'll give you one last example. I know I want to hear where they're here to hear you talking on me, but I'll never forget. I'll never forget. I started my practice, four operators, I had two hygienists, and I had two chairs for myself. And I unannounced, wasn't running ad. This hygienist walks in, and I don't want to say her name, so I don't want to get back to Missy. And she just comes in, she's looking for a job, and then they're like, well, we're not running an ad, and we're not hiring, and we already got two hygienists. But she says, oh well, it's a new office. I live out here. I just want to look around, and so I gave her a tour, and she was so into everything, and she was young, and you could just tell her identity was she's a hygienist, and she wasn't just looking for a 9 to 5 job. She was a hygienist. I mean, from A to Z. And I just sat there and she goes, no, that's okay. I know you're not hired. I mean, I know there's a bunch of offices out here. And I thought to myself, oh God, do
we're
you
gonna
want to
keep her.
compete? Do you want to compete with a dental office that's got this girl? Holy
We
shit.
better
I
take her.
mean, I hired her early. I didn't have room. I had to cut back.
Yep.
It's like we're not gonna miss out on Missy. This girl was born to be a hygienist, and she just took our practice to the next level. And those are the people you need to hang around with. And that's what you got to convey on to me on your TikTok videos that you're not going there because you're looking for money, money, money. You're not trying to sell money. It's not about money. It's like, man, this is your identity. You're a dentist. You're a dental
Yeah.
assistant, loves being a dental assistant. You're a hygienist, loves hygiene. And this is where it's so damn good. You want to pay out of pocket.
And you have to
How do
convey that to your patients. I mean, that's why I've been in the practice I've been in for 10 years. So when I got hired in here, it was father, son, mom and pop, general practice, two doctors, probably four hygienists. Over 10 years, we've gone to five doctors. We're now a two location practice. We've expanded huge. Now we have 10 hygienists, two owners, five associates. We're doing sedation, we're doing all on X appliances, grown huge. And the owner of the practice is going to turn 40 this year. He's still a very young doctor, but he's so, I mean, obsessed with dentistry. He loves dentistry. He loves leading. He loves this life. He loves leadership. He loves growth. He invested with me in Clever Dental Co. A year ago, I brought this idea to him, and I was like, what we're doing here is special. We can turn this into something. We can teach other offices how to do this in their offices, right? I'm passionate about it, but I'm not a doctor making $300,000 a year, right? I'm working at the front desk. So I was like, I have an idea, I have a passion. We can turn this into something. We can teach other offices how to do this. And someone else who is passionate about dentistry is like, okay, I hear you. I believe in this idea. Let's co-found this company. This is how our whole thing is born, and we'll work together for another 30 years. It's magic when you find it.
And you have on, well, you need to send his little butt back here to be on the next podcast. I want to follow up
He would
with that guy.
love it.
Well,
He's
you
special.
tell him, tell me when and where. He sounds like a fun to talk to. I see this, download our free resources. Sign up for our free resources and get access to materials like our 30-day dental marketing. Oh, come on. I'm the guy who came out with the 30-day dental MBA, and now you got the 30-day dental M. You're just two letters away from the 30-day dental MBA. No, I'm just kidding. And
I gotta
30-day
hook him
dental.
somehow.
Well, you know why I did the 30-day dental MBA?
What?
Well, I said, and I got it sitting right there, and I realized that the dental school didn't teach me anything about business, and I learned everything about business because my dad was had Sonic drive-in franchises, and I'd go to all the franchisee meetings with him. My five sisters weren't interested, and my mom didn't want to go; she wasn't interested. So me and Dad just hung out, and all. So you go to the ADA meeting or Chicago Midwinter, Yankee, Hinman, whatever. I mean, I went to all those restaurant conventions. They're all the exact same booths, lectures. I got to see Ray Kroc lecture, and but I decided I everything I learned from my dad, and he's kind of crazy, and I obviously took after my mom, and so I said I'm going to go back and get my MBA, and I bought my first laptop, and I took notes. It was two classes from 6 to 8, 8 to 10, Mondays and Wednesdays, 3 trimesters, so 12 courses a year, 2 years, 24 courses, and I took notes on the whole thing. And then when I was done, I bammed it out. I branded it out. It was about 30 hours. But when I was working out in my garage with my four boys, I was playing for them Tony Robbins' 30-day personal power thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And I rented it out on one weekend. It was about 30 hours. So it's like, so I stole the whole name from Tony Robbins. It's like, well, he's in because of my, and I played it because my boys, it really, really motivated them and firing them up. And they were in wrestling and cross country in school. And
Sure.
Tony Robbins did a number of my boys. I did a number on those boys. But so you got the 30-day dental marketing playbook. By the way, my 30-day dental MBA is free on iTunes. It's on YouTube. It's on Dental Town. And I always ask people, they're always sending me these emails about how great it was. And I'm like, dude, I filmed that in 1998. And what I'm realizing is what you and I are talking about. It's like geometry and algebra. It's not geometry is going to be geometry 2,000 years from now. I mean, it's the
Right.
people. It's the people stuff. It's the human stuff. It's the concepts. I think the 30-day dental MBA, and I bet your 30-day dental marketing playbook. Yeah, maybe 30 years from now you'll switch TikTok for a new, whatever's new at the time. But the concepts are the same concepts. So what are they going to learn on this 30-day dental marketing playbook, dental social media starter pack? And our free trial checklist.
So you're gonna learn the free trial. I'm not asking anything from you. I'm not asking your credit card information. I'm not asking you to sign up for anything. It's truly a 30-day experience where you're going to go in. I'm not going to rope you into anything where you're going to get automatically subscribed on day 31. I'm going to give you resources to genuinely try our program. The whole goal of this 30-day process is for me to show you, really, I'm not tricking you into anything. This is so easy. I want dentists to understand how easily implementable this is in your office. If you're a small practice, your front desk can take a few hours a week just to show up in your community, just be present. And I've seen some older dentists that say, like, grumble, grumble, I don't need social media. That's fine for you, I guess. You're missing out on a huge demographic. You're missing out on a huge opportunity for what is essentially free advertising. That's where your patient base is. You should meet them where they are. I can promise you that if you're not there, someone else in your community is. If you're a bigger practice, assign someone on your team to be responsible for this. It's really not rocket science. Follow the program. Each of these guidebooks, I have 25 out right now. There will be 30 eventually. I say there will be 30, I'll probably get bored and there will end up being 35 or 40. I can't stop myself. But each guidebook has 28, 30 pages. Read the guidebook, take the course, take a quiz. There are prompts, calendars, templates. Anyone can do this. I'm going to coach you through it. And it's all work at your own pace. Anyone can do it. Everyone has a camera phone in their pocket. Any office can implement this at any size.
That is, I want to go back. I'm reading your, you did an amazing article in Dental Town called the in-house marketing manager. And Jaclyn Nona makes the case for in-house marketing, offering practical steps to build brand trust, engage community. I want you to talk about that article, but I also want to go to the dark side. And
Sure.
dentists are humans, and they're at the end of the day, they're dogs. I love them. But my God, I don't know if it's because their ego, whatever. But man, someone leaves them a bad review, and you got to talk them down from the ledge. I mean,
Yes, you do.
it's like, dude, I mean, how old were you? I mean, you're 45 years old. You haven't figured out that there's batshit crazy, insane people out there. I mean, I mean, Ronald Reagan, I think, was the most popular president in my lifetime as far as votes. And he only got 60% of the United States. And I lived through Reagan. He's the first president I voted for. I voted for him twice. 40% of Americans hated his guts. And you got one bad review and
Yeah.
out of your town? I mean, are you thin-skinned or am I too thick-skinned? But well, they want to get a lawyer. Some of it got in trouble because
Oh,
they drove to
yeah.
the person's house. Well, you
Oh
just
my God, that's insane.
so well, you just because I guarantee you, there's a townie out there that's losing his flipping mind over a bad review. So go to the dark side and tell him should he just quit, go home, and talk him down from the ledge.
All right, great question. I do see this come up all the time. And it is pretty difficult because I get the instinct. Some advice I see that I don't agree with is people will come up on forums and say, "Oh, whatever you do, don't reply." I don't agree with that. So I get the instinct because HIPAA ties our hands, right? And a patient can say anything they want about you in a review. They can drag you in a one-star review. They can say, Dr. Weber called my kids ugly in the waiting room, which is crazy, but you can't counteract it. You can't even acknowledge that that patient was in your office at all. It's painful for the practitioner. Frankly, it's painful for me to try to clean up our reputation after the fact because I can't acknowledge that.
Oh, okay,
That's,
but clean that up for the kids in dental school. They don't know what you're talking about. HIPAA, how you can really get in trouble on an
you
online.
can really
So
get in trouble.
explain that for the kids in dental school.
All right. So let's say you work for a restaurant and someone comes in and says, I had terrible service. They spit in my food. If I own that restaurant, I can flame you back in my review. I can say, no one spit in your food. You're batshit crazy. Go home and don't ever come in my restaurant again. In fact, I have video footage that you're insane and now you're barred from coming to my restaurant. I have the right to say that. As a healthcare professional, your private health information as the patient is protected. Not only can I say, that didn't happen, Dr. Weber never called your kids ugly, you're crazy. I cannot acknowledge that you were ever in my practice at all. That breaks your PHI, that breaks HIPAA. And that goes for good or bad experiences, which people may not know. So even if someone,
Your PHI personal health information.
yes.
Okay.
So even if someone leaves you a glowing 5-star review, they come in for the first time and say, I had the best experience ever with Dr. Farran. And I were to reply to that as the office and say, Oh, Shelley, it was so good to see you. I'm happy you had a great experience. We loved having you in the office. And she comes back 6 months later and has a root canal and it was painful and she's pissed off. She can then go back and take legal action on you for confirming in that earlier review that you said she was a patient in your office. It does not matter that she said she was a patient first. So your best course of action is to always say, for a good review, thank you for your kind words, or we appreciate the feedback, or please call our office. What I wouldn't do is ignore it altogether because prospective patients are reading through all of your reviews before they come in. Everybody lives online. They are also reading all of your responses. Now, if you have 300 reviews and 296 of those are 5-star reviews. Good on you. That person that left a 1-star review looks nuts, and you look like a hero by saying, please call our office, try to get that offline. The best course of action is to bury that review with other 5-star reviews. Sick your whole staff on it. Tell your hygienist to come to your front desk anytime they have a good appointment and say, I had a really good experience with Sally today. Send her a review request. Push that review down. Bury it with other 5-star reviews.
But
The most,
doesn't it look more authentic? I mean, when I go to a website and like a restaurant, because I have an eating disorder, I like to eat a lot of food, and they have like 25 reviews and they're all like 5 stars. I mean, to me, it doesn't even look
yeah,
real. I mean, go home for Thanksgiving. How many of the people at your Thanksgiving dinner table would you give a 1 star rating to your crazy batshit Uncle Larry? I mean, you don't even like all the people at your Thanksgiving dinner.
yeah,
So to me, it's like, okay, where's the crazy uncle review? I think it looks more authentic when one person, yeah, this guy's an idiot. And then the next four say, no, it was great. I mean, maybe,
yeah. It's not the end of the world to get a bad review. It is the end of the world when you get like angry or defensive or aggressive, and it can really get you into trouble. Did you see this dentist in California that just recently, it was last year sometime, she went on the news and said that she gives patients with a different political affiliation less anesthetic. And she thought it was so funny. And she's like, ha ha, I numb them less. And then everybody is flaming her. Patients can't believe that she's that unprofessional. She's losing patients left and right. She's on the news. She has to come out and apologize. There's a different dentist across the country with the same name who's saying, that's not me. I mean, that's a goddamn nightmare. You have to be professional in every instance when you respond. You can't be aggressive and you can't be defensive. And you have to show up. Just be human. That's in every instance. I actually have a whole chapter on crisis communication because patients will flame you on social media, in their comments, and you have to respond professionally. Just don't be crazy. Don't get in trouble. You don't want to get sued. You don't want to go to jail. Respond like a human.
well, I was really old before I realized, I finally, here's that birdie on the shoulder tells you shouldn't do this. But I'd always argue with the birdie and I'd try to sell the birdie on why I didn't care and wouldn't do this. And then one of my friends and mentors, I was always asking Lori, I say, do you think I could do this? And finally, she got sick of all those questions. She says, Howard, if you have to ask, you know the answer.
Yeah, don't do
And
it.
yeah. And when I'm doing at the comedy store, when I'm, I've done my comedy gig at basically every comedy place I know of in Arizona. And then when I would go lecture for years, like say I was lecturing in Cleveland, I'd call my comedy coach Tony Vincent and I say, "Hey, I'm lecturing in Cleveland on Saturday." He said, "Get, I'll call you back." So he knows everybody. And he called back and said, "Okay, you can go on stage 9 o'clock at this comedy club in Cleveland." And yeah, it's funny at a comedy club. But it ain't funny at church. It ain't funny at a dental meeting. It ain't
Right.
funny online trying to build your practice. I mean, I got one sister where I can tell her every joke I've ever thought, and she laughs until she can't breathe. But if I said that to the other four sisters, they'd lose their mind. And I mean, and my brother laughs, my mom laughs, one sister Kayleen laughs. The other four, I wouldn't even go there. And you learn that you just can't go there after church. Well, Dennis, you go fishing with five dentists from Louisiana out catching red bass out on a boat, drinking whatever I don't even know what it is. It's yellow stuff, and it's just oh my god, it's like kerosene.
It's
You can
like
say
moonshine.
yeah, you can say anything you want. And then when you're lecturing in front of them at a dental meeting and they're in a suit and tie and they're sitting next to their staff, you can't even say dang or fart or you can't say so yeah, man. So the deal is if that it the birdie, man, you gotta listen to the birdie. You know when you should not do this. And if your birdie's talking to you, you don't argue with the birdie when you're drinking liquor with your homies out on a bass boat. You don't do it if it's okay if you're at a comedy club, but dude, you're not at a comedy club. It's a dental office. You're a doctor. You're supposed to
Oh
be doing a
yeah.
root canal, and your birdie's there. And I truly believe they all have the birdie unless they're a sociopath, and that might be genetic. I don't even get mad at the most famous sociopaths out there because I just assume they were born that way. I mean, I was born bald. I listen to some of these big names out there, and it's like, dude, they were probably born that way. I don't think they have any idea what they were born broken. But the bottom line is, homie, if that birdie's talking to you and you're not a sociopath, shut up. There's another place to let it all hang out, and probably not on a
Ugh.
TikTok video for your damn dental office.
No, if you have any hesitation, listen, in 2026, you have got to assume, didn't I just say that every single person has a camera in their pocket?
Yeah.
Everybody has a camera in their pocket. You have got to assume everybody's watching, everybody's listening, especially if you're on somewhere like Google Reviews. That is such a public forum. And now, if a patient leaves, we had one instance where a patient left a totally uncalled for, inappropriate review, flamed us up and down. She was in the wrong, making things up. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't confirm she's a patient. However, if they're using obscenities, if they're calling someone out by name, you can get that taken down. Google will remove it because they're cussing left and right in it. And if they're naming someone, like let's say she's calling out a front desk person, oh, Jane was so rude to me. Oh, Jane's a real bitch. Google's going to take that down because they'll consider that harassment. So it's not the end of the world. There are ways to get these things removed. The worst thing you can do is be aggressive right back. All it does is make you look like a crazy office where a prospective patient is going to read your response and go, oh God, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go there and trust them with my health.
Okay, you said something really scary at the beginning of this podcast. You said I said, should it be less than a minute? And you said you got to hook them in 7 seconds. 7 seconds? I want you to
Mhm.
talk about that. Did you mean 70 seconds? Or
I
did
did
you
not.
mean the Boeing 747 seconds? So how do you hook someone in 7 seconds?
Well, you know that you said that social media is so negative all the time. It's because what's easier to grasp attention than negativity? Negativity is going to grasp someone's attention way more than positivity. So I don't make that point to insinuate that dentists should be negative. I don't think so, but I'm just saying that that's kind of the realm of social media that we live in because it's going to get a click more
It's
so
more
than positive
effective.
news. It's more
Yeah.
effective.
And you see it when you're driving. If a car turns upside car wreck,
Oh,
everybody
hell
slows
yeah,
down
gotta
and looks
look.
to look. Everyone looks. It's the rubberneck.
The reason I brought Jerry up is because he sent me a lot of questions and I was looking for one in my notes. He sent me something about authenticity and I can't even find it here in my notes, but he asked me, why is authentic content so much more interesting than stock photos or something polished? And I'll tell you that I'm 36, right? I'm a millennial. I live on the internet. And in the age of AI, in the age of a 7 second attention span, in the age of TikTok dances and all that, your patients don't want to see perfect content. They're so tired and they're so tired of ads. So if they get on Instagram to escape the news, to escape their screaming kids in the background when they're doing e-learning, whatever, and they're scrolling through, it's like every third post is an ad and they're tired of it. So if your dental office is showing up as they're scrolling and it looks like an ad or it looks like a stock photo, they're not going to stop. It's not going to catch their attention at all. There's no connection with it. There's nothing relatable about it. There's no personality with it. However, if it's something authentic, if there's any kind of connection with it, like our office does really well on social media because our patients love our people. They're in love with our doctors. They feel cared for by our assistants. They connect with our hygienist. And internal marketing reminds them of that feeling in the 6 month gap between appointments. And then new patients, when they see a picture of our hygienist on Facebook and it has 60 likes, they think, oh, wow, they must be good. I'll make an appointment there. So you just have to know your audience. But everything's fake online. You have to post real, authentic content. That being said, I'm not asking you to dance. I would love to see it, but I'm not asking you to.
And another thing I liked in your article in Dental Town, where it's called the in-house marketing manager, you just said, you got to know your audience. And you were saying, that you got to know your employees. First step, start by identifying the right employee within your practice to take on marketing responsibilities. Look for someone who demonstrates loyalty, shows genuine interest in marketing, understands social media, has earned your trust. I would add, and identifies as, her position is her self-identity. The ideal candidate will possess key characteristics that set them up: well spoken, creative, self sufficient, eager to learn. And what I'm hearing is that, you got all these people on your social media. My first question would be, who's got the most followers on the most platform? I know Dennis. I know Dennis. I had employees that worked here at Dental Town for years that they had no social media presence at all. And finally one day I realized that you can't really run Dental Town with a bunch of employees who have no social media. They're not into it. If social media is such a big part of the platform, because we have Dental Town magazine, Dental Town
Sure.
website, social media, and I started realizing that, getting people on the bus that had huge social media presence. So do you recommend that maybe you should first quantitatively advertise? Okay, I got 7 people working for me. If these 4 don't even have a Facebook account, I mean, there's just a lot of people. I could name you a lot of dentists that don't have any social media. So is that a way to screen your employees to find the marketing manager who usually got the most
Hmm.
social media platform followers? Is that a big deal or not really?
I don't know. That's tough. I would say, I mean, you definitely need someone who's comfortable running those accounts, right? So like in my position, I run all of Clever Dental Co.'s accounts, right? Obviously. I run our Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I also run our office accounts. And we have other accounts we have a dental lab also. So I'm running probably 3 business accounts across like 11 platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Threads, Facebook, Instagram. I'm really deep in all of them. However, personally, like my personal Instagram, I only have like 150 followers. And the difference for that is that I have 3 kids. My kids are 11, 8, and 3. I love them to death. I post them all the time personally, but I'm not going to post, for me, my kids' faces all over like Clever Dental Co., where I have 6 or 7 thousand followers. Strangers, a lot of people that I don't know. So I have a lot of followers on my business accounts, but my personal account I keep pretty small for that reason. Now that's just me. That doesn't mean now when I started doing our personal accounts or our professional accounts here, I was in my 20s. I know a lot about social media. I also think a lot of that can be taught. I would go a lot more toward personality traits. And you don't really need a unicorn. You need somebody who understands the voices, the values, your patients. I know you have a rock star at your front desk who gets along with all of your patients and has that really good rapport and knows how to handle them on the phone and knows how to handle an expensive treatment plan and knows how to calm somebody down who's upset or pissed off. That might be the person who you're looking for to represent you in the community. And you can teach in the social media platforms. I have a bunch of books on them. We can do that later.
That's very very well said. Now I take it a step further. I I got 5 sisters and a brother, 4 kids, 8 grandkids. I go to their personal website, but I got to the point that my social media, it's all business.
Hmm.
I don't show 'em my birthday cake. I don't show 'em my vacation pictures. I mean, I just it's just, yeah, I don't want people looking at my 8 grandkids. I mean,
Yeah.
and things like that, especially since my 8 grandkids are better looking than your future 8 grandkids. Mine
Hey
are,
now.
and they're smarter, and
This is
they're
feeling
just
personal.
in fact, did I tell you that mine are actually perfect? And but anyway, yeah, I had 4 boys. I'm so like, in fact, I got to bring it up. I shouldn't bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up. This is my first granddaughter's 14th birthday today. 14th
Oh,
birthday.
what are you
Oh
doing
my
talking
God.
to me?
I know. Well, she's a school, so but anyway, so yeah, so back to the internal marketing. So again, it's got to start off strong. Give them some examples. Like what's a strong 7-second hook to start this authentic video of my personality?
You got to show faces. And I would start definitely by building a following of your current patients. It's really easy to target locally. So, this is what I mean when I say know your audience. If you're starting brand new, if you have no experience on social media at all, if you're not on any platforms, I would not make your very first platform TikTok. TikTok is very national. There's a very national audience. There's a very good chance that you could be based in Indiana and you could put out a video and someone, the first person that sees it is going to be in Denver, Colorado. Who cares? If you're going to be posting like that, I would pick Facebook or Instagram, and you can put a location on that and you can target it very niche to within 5 to 10 miles of you. And you can get a following right in your radius. You can put a little sign out on your front desk like, hey, we're on Instagram. Hey, we're on Facebook. Follow us. Get your patients to start to see you. Show your doctor's face. Initially, your doctor is going to be the star. I know your hygienists are fabulous. Your front desk, your assistants are fabulous. Your doctors are the star of the show. Initially, get them in there doing little 30-second, 15-second videos. Doesn't really matter what they're talking about. It doesn't have to be all dentistry all the time. In fact, it's better if it's not. I'm not saying don't do educational profiles, don't feature equipment, do all that. Feature services, feature equipment, talk about dentistry. Also, talk about a coat drive that you're doing, talk about a trunk or treat that you're showing up at, talk about your favorite Halloween candy. Be a little silly. Connect with your patients on a human level. That's what's engaging. And when you show up in their living room twice a week in the 6 month span between appointments, that's what keeps them coming back to you. And I can't drive this point home enough that this is all free. It takes 2 minutes of your time, and you're always in the back of their head, and it keeps these patients coming back again and again. This is what sustains your practice through difficult times and keeps your patients loyal and keeps their spouses coming back, their kids coming back, their grandkids coming back. It makes you a legacy practice.
And how frequency should they be posting? I mean, what's the magic formula? I mean, do they need to put something out once a week, once a day, once a month? What would be your recommended frequency?
3 or 4 times a week. In
Okay.
our office, we're open Monday through Thursday. So I'll post Monday through Thursday. If something special is going on a Saturday, like let's say we're out at a community event, I'll post that. Our best content that always does the best is people. We just did, we were at our Christmas party. I went around and took pictures of our Christmas party. That's nothing related to dentistry. That's all related to our people having fun. Huge hit. Our patients want to see us as people, out of our scrubs, having a good time, hanging out. I make sure that I still represent us as healthcare providers that they can trust. I'm not showing anybody that had too good of a time looking silly, but our
You didn't you
patients
didn't
love it.
you didn't post that picture where you were holding her hair while she was puking in the toilet?
Not that one.
Not that one. Okay. Okay. Well, dental assistants got to have fun. But
Once a year.
and then another thing I want to ask you about is the fact that the orthodontists have figured out that what's really cool to the kids in high school, well, the kids in high school that are getting braces have never given you $1. Their mom gives you all their money.
Yes,
And
thank
then
you.
the thing about in dentistry is the weirdest thing about dentistry is the people that give you all the money for all the big implant cases, all the perio surgery, all the deals, all the all enforced, they're all 65 to 75 to
Hmm.
85. And those you get one of them in there, it's gonna be 10, $20,000. But you get someone like you, like if I went all out of my way and I got Jaclyn to come to my practice, oh my God, I bet all you'll give me is a cleaning exam and you give me a cleaning exam, probably a cleaning exam and x-ray once a year and just a recall cleaning and no exam or x-ray six. I mean, I probably won't make a penny on you. In fact, I always tell people, when people like Jaclyn come to your office on the way out the door, you should trip them and tell them to don't ever come back. Because I mean, I had so many people like that I never made a dime off of for 30, 40 years. And then what's even weirder is Dennis would say things like, "Oh my God, don't you hate those freaking pigs, those cretin animals. They haven't been to the dentist in 10 years. They show up, they walk in, they don't even have an appointment. And it's like that
No,
that's
I
a
love
whole
them.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the guy. That's the guy that needs a full mouth rehab. I would like every one of my patients to be that cretin guy that comes in vaping, smoking with a beer in his hand, saying, I haven't been to the dentist in 40 years. And,
Help me.
yeah, hell, I don't want Jaclyn who says, well, I floss every morning, but at night I use a water pick, and I have a timer for my 2 minutes of brushing and
I
flossing. I
do.
mean, I can't pay back my student loans on people like you. So talk about how if it's about orthodontics, how much do you make it cool for the kids versus the mom who's going to pay for it. And then on Facebook, they're not on Instagram. Grandma ain't on Instagram. Grandma ain't on
Oh my
TikTok.
goodness.
Grandma's on Facebook. Every grandma I know
Oh,
lives
hell
on
yes, she
Facebook.
is.
So how do you get a 65-year-old with gum disease and a flipper and a partial and how do you get grandma? How do you get grandma in your office on Facebook? That's what I want to know.
Okay, I have two stories for you, first of all, that are going to thread back to that. So, about social media, about your point. We shot one video on YouTube talking about full arch cases. This video took 10 minutes to do. It was interviewing my doctor about a full arch. We started our own program in our office. We named it the Onyx Solutions, our own thing that we do here. It's a package with sedation and implants and oral surgery. Okay. Shot a video about it, put it on YouTube, put a little bit of money behind it on YouTube. I want to say like $200 for the whole month. Put it on YouTube. A gentleman from Chicago saw this video, deep dove into all of our videos on YouTube, made the trip, emailed our office, made the trip from Chicago to Michigan City, became a $60,000 case in our office. So one video that I made on YouTube that took 10 minutes and we spent $200 promoting became a $60,000 case. So that's how we made $60,000 in 10 minutes on YouTube. That's the power of internal marketing. Second story is not directly related to what you'll ask. I will get to that. But this is on ground marketing that can only be done by your staff. An agency cannot do this for you. We just did a whole campaign in our office of ground marketing where we packed up lunches, tucked our business cards in them, dropped them off to all the elementary and middle schools and high schools in our city just to be nice. We appreciate teachers. We're bringing free lunch to all the teachers in our area. So let's say I spend $400 to bring 60 lunches to one school full of teachers in my area. This is from Restore Dental Arts. We're bringing these lunches to you. By the way, here's some business cards. We appreciate you. I don't ask for anything in return. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Enjoy your free lunch. If I get one teacher from that and her spouse, maybe she has two kids, not only did I make my money back, but I probably doubled it just in recare. Not to mention if someone in that family needs a root canal, a crown, or an implant. And that's one family. in that whole school. And now imagine the whole school system. I mean, marketing like that, which costs almost nothing to do, done from inside the office, cannot be done from an agency. That's internal marketing in power. Now, Facebook ads for grandma on Facebook, make one ad about your office, put your cute doctor, a picture of him, a picture of the office, a link to your website, put $30 behind it, put the radius for 10 miles around your office. It's going to hit every grandma who's scrolling Facebook for $30. And if you're the only office in your area doing that, you're the only office that she will see. And then when she comes to the office, by the time she needs you, she already knows you. So she's not coming to the office scared, worried about cost, worried about judgment. She's already gone through your social media. She recognizes the girls at your front desk. She knows the assistant who's coming up to grab her. She has already heard good things about the dentist coming in to treat her. She's much more likely to say yes to the treatment plan. She's much more likely to follow through and show up to her appointments and accept treatment. She's much more likely to stay your patient until she dies. That was a $30 patient. It's not rocket science. It's really so easy if you just take the time to do it.
And I just want to add one thing because I've been doing this shit for a long time. I mean, I'm 63 years old. I know I look like I'm 33, but I'm really almost ready for my dirt nap. And
No, you're
but
not.
the thing I want to stress is, we're in this AI revolution, and I get it. I mean, it was 2 years ago, September, where my son, I got four sons, and one of them, only one of them's a good son and went to ASU. The other three went to NAU. What the hell? You know, what the hell? And but one of the bad sons that went to NAU when he should have gone to ASU. NAU. I mean, if you just drive by the campus real slow with your windows down, they'll throw a diploma in the back
Now
seat. I
wait,
mean,
who gave you the
it's
granddaughter?
there you go. Not the ASU one. No, not the ASU one.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. The NAU, one good thing about them is they'll make you a granddaughter. But he got a degree in computer programming. And he came up to me about 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago, September, and he showed me this chat GDP. And he said, Dad, he says, you're old and your website was, it was, you crushed it when it was HTML, C++, and
Hmm.
you were 5 years before Facebook. But he says, but Dad, those days are gone. It's the AI. It's like gone from cars to airplanes. You know what I mean? And he said, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you need to rewrite that entire website from scratch. And
Yeah.
I said, and we were so dumb, we both thought, because it was also new 2 years ago, September. I said, we can do this in a year, 18 months max. Okay. We're at 24, September, October, November, December, January, 24, 25, 26, 27. We're at 28 months now with a dozen AI programmers, and it's been the funnest ride I've ever had. And it's AI's changed so much in 2 years. I mean, it's crazy. But I just want to remind the dentist that I don't care if you like it or don't like AI or whatever. It's like, in 1900, there wasn't one person on earth who knew in 30 years there was going to be planes, trains, and automobiles. And in 1930, when there wasn't one person on earth that knew that in 30 more years we'd be standing on the moon. Okay, I don't care if you love AI or you hate AI, it's here and it ain't going away. So figure it out. But the thing that about AI, it's like a calculator. The calculator, used to do it on paper, used to do it on chalkboard.
Hmm.
Then you got a calculator where 1 + 1 = 2. And then in college, you got a Hewlett Packard what was it, TR-47. I mean, it could do calculus and geometry. I mean, it was crazy. But no matter how powerful it never came alive one day and said, Howard, I am a real person. I am calculator man. And one day I'm going to take over the world. Dude, it's a large language model. All you idiots who think it's going to come alive one day and be a human and steal your grandma and hijack your house. I mean, they want they watch the Terminator too many times. I mean, it was gosh darn Steven Spielberg made everybody afraid of sharks. Halloween, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I won't even go down in the basement anymore if it's after dark. and Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger makes everybody thinks that this AI. But here's my key takeaway. They're finding patients on AI now, and AI is a large language model. So what you have to do is you got to get everybody on your team to have a piece of paper and deal, and you need to write down the question, how they actually said it. If they sit there and say, now, is there any way you can take out that wiggly tooth and like hook it on an implant or something? I mean, I want to know, how did she actually say that? And then in your review or in your website or whatever, you got to, it's no longer tag words like dentistry or family dentistry. There's no more tag words. Large language models look for how people talk in language. So when they get on ChatGPT or
Oh yeah.
Perplexia or Claude or whatever, all these AI platforms, and looking for a dentist near them, they're going to say, well, it happens like this. It says, do you, if you have a loose partial, can you like hook it down on a dental implant? And then it'll answer that crazy ass way you said it, and then it'll give you a link to a dentist near you because it knows
Well,
where you're at.
can I tell you also, it used to be all about SEO. It used to be how high you were able to show in a Google search listing. Exactly that, based on keywords, based on searching dentist near me, and it was based on location and frequency and how much you paid for your ad and how high you could show. Now, ChatGPT will take into account, which is where a lot of people are looking because they use Siri, give me a good dentist, and ChatGPT will take into account my office, Restore Dental Arts, who is posting on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever, 15 to 20 times a month. I'm a very active office. So ChatGPT will look at that and go, they're very active online. They seem to have a lot to say. They seem to be showing up a whole lot. And they're going to refer me a lot more than an office who is also doing great dentistry and great work and maybe really good at what they do. But if they're posting 2 times a month, on 2 platforms, ChatGPT is going to read everything that I'm doing on different platforms across the internet and the frequency, and they're going to boost me and recommend me 10 times out of 10 more than that other office solely because of the frequency of how often I'm posting and where. So the more you're on these platforms, the better, because ChatGPT is looking at your activity with the relevance.
But you're absolutely right, and I love this information. I'm going to scan it further, but a lot of times they're building up to that. Like, well, is it if your jaw starts clicking and popping and hurting, is that TMJ?
Oh
And you've
yeah,
never
you're right
and you don't
too.
have anything written that AI can scan that and find out that question, that inference, whatever. Or my I got really bad breath. And do you think which mouthwash is best for bad breath? Well, have you done anything, TikTok, any social media where it says that? And the other thing is, do you put the text of that? So you have a video, but did you put the text? Some AI, I believe, I know Gemini is scanning all their YouTube videos, and I know all the mega the Magnificent Seven, they're all like criminal. I mean, so they're probably scanning everybody's, they're stealing everything. I mean, that's why Apple didn't even get into AI, because Tim Cook's like, well, to win at this, I'd have to go steal all the content of all the newspapers and magazines and have a big privacy guy. And I just didn't want to do all the evil things I had to do to win the AI race. You know what I mean? I just let them all do it, and then they signed a deal with they tried to open AI, ChatGPT, and now they signed a big deal with Google. But the bottom line is, these humans are talking to ChatGPT and they're asking them all these questions, and it's a large language model. And like they'll sit there and say, well, what does it mean if you go pee and it's like pink? And they're like, well, that's blood in there. Well, what do you, and then it'll even prompt you to be like, this could be, an infection. It could be dehydration. It could be a kidney stone. It could be, but anyway, they're talking about it. And then they're like, you should probably, go talk to a urologist. And then they say, well, is there a urologist near me? Well, they're scanning the whole conversation they had, And then they're saying, well, Dr. Sharma's office, is near you, and it's only 6 miles away. So the thing is, man, it's no longer keywords. It's no longer I'm going to buy the keywords for dentist or implants or bleaching or veneers. No, man, it's you got to start trapping large language model. How do people talk? And plus, you're in Indiana, so you got to sit there and say, y'all, is this a ain't no ain't? I
Anybody
mean,
eating corn?
yeah, yeah, you're gonna get your tribe talking how your tribe talks. So when you hear someone asking, and a lot of things, they're coming to the dentist for all their own reasons. They're coming to the dentist because they got bad breath, and they got perio and root canals and infection and all that kind of stuff. But it was the bad breath that drove the line. It wasn't that they hadn't been to the dentist 7 years, don't brush, floss,
Mhm.
and eat sugary gum and drink soda all day long. It's the bad breath that they're concerned about.
Well, one thing that you can do, this is getting in the weeds a little bit, so this is the last thing I'll say about it. But if I post a picture on Instagram, let's say I'm posting a picture of Dr. Weber, using our CBCT machine, and then I caption it, here's Dr. Weber using our CBCT machine. There's a description underneath there where you can write a description solely for the computer that your patients aren't going to see. It's not going to show up in the caption. And there you could write something for the language learning model. You could write something that would come up in ChatGPT, but your patient's not going to see it and it's not going to show up in the caption. So it is possible to hide language like that when you're making posts on social media that ChatGPT would see, but that wouldn't show up in the caption. So there is
Now
a
you
workaround.
teach them how to do that in your book, in
Yeah, I
your
have.
resources.
So everything like that is buried in my courses.
Okay, and so I hate to cut you off after an hour, but the bottom line is it do just gets far more views if it's under an hour. I mean, I've done 3.5 hour um, podcast with Carl Mish, and they got 50,000 views, but you got to be Carl Mish to go over an hour, and they just don't have time. Time is the deal. And by the way, most people they find out they come up to me. I get this all the time. We lecturing, someone will come up to me and they'll start talking like some squeaky little girl or something, and I'm just looking at them like, "What are you doing?" And they go, "Well, that's how you sound to me because I listened to you at 1.5x or I listened to you at 2x, and
Yeah.
I only got a 15-minute drive to work. So I listened to your podcast at 1.75, and this is what you sound like. I wanted to see what you sound like in real life because whatever. Anyway, so her website is Cleveland Dental CO.
No,
dot- Clever.
cleverdentalco.com.
Oh, you know what? I'm glad that happened. You know why? Because as a 63-year-old man with readers, I have the hardest time reading people's posts on Instagram. They're using cursive, it's white letters on a pale background, and it's like, my God, just remember that again, all the people giving you the biggest money, they're all wearing readers. Make the font bigger on your ads, but it's cleverdentalco.com. Um, how do you want them to contact you? Just go to that site and contact. Do you give out your
Yes,
email address?
there's a contact us button on the website. You can email contact@cleverdentalco.com. You can send me a DM on Instagram. I'm very responsive to that. Or you can find me directly on LinkedIn. It's just my name, Jaclyn Nona.
And DM stands for dumb monkey, I assume.
It's direct message.
Oh, direct message. Okay. Or dumb monkey. But
Or a dumb
hey,
monkey.
seriously, it was an honor to have you on. You got to bring back the guy that you're doing. It sounds like he's 40, he's crushing it. And
He is.
I love to bring on those type of people, and because it's all in your attitude. In fact, I want to show you what I posted on the other day.
He's my co-founder on there, David Weber, so you can find out about him on the website and I will
Well, he
send you
already
his
set this up.
information.
Yeah, well, Jerry sets up. It'd
Yeah, I will.
be
That'll be fun.
better so, Jerry. But I want to I want to go away on this last post because I know everybody thinks the sky is falling and all that kind of stuff, but it's all in your head. And here's what I posted the other day. What a privilege to be tired from the work you once prayed for. What a privilege to be overwhelmed by the growth you once dreamed about. What a privilege to be challenged by a life you created on purpose. And what a privilege to outgrow the things you once settled for. To be tired from the thing you used to dream about is a beautiful blessing. So come on, man. It's all in your attitude. You got a phenomenal attitude. I bet your doc does too. Thanks so much for coming on the show. It was an honor to podcast you.
Oh, it was so fun. Thank you. I really appreciate it.